Opening words are from Terrence Powderly, U.S. Department of Labor Hall of Honor inductee. I, who have known Mother Jones for nearly half a century, bear willing testimony to her great work for humanity. All through the years she gave while others got. I wish to place the laureled crown of greatness upon the head of Mother Jones.
We bid you welcome. We do not ask what you believe or expect you to think a certain way, but only that you try to live a kindly, helpful life with the dignity proper to a human being. Welcome all who believe that religion is wider than any sect and deeper than any set of opinions. Welcome all who might find in our friendship strength and encouragement for daily living. Good morning, and welcome to the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington. My name is Nathan Whitehead, and I became a member here because, I like hanging out with interesting people, listening to interesting topics, listening to beautiful music. It's a great place to hang out. So, welcome. This morning, we are fortunate to have a guest speaker, one of our Another fellow member here, Paul Bailey, is joining us today to speak to us about Mother Jones. He lives in Garden City with Nancy and their 3 cats. We are also happy to hear the choir singing this morning with special guest musicians, additions of Terry Spencer on recorder. There. That was, Brian Golden and Ann Patrice Foley on percussion. And I'd like to extend a special welcome to any visitors who are joining us today. After the service, we invite you downstairs to have some coffee and bagels with us in Adams Hall. But while we are in the meeting house, we are observing COVID precautions and wearing masks regardless of vaccination status. Our children are all down the hall right now at the religious education classes. An usher can direct you there if you're looking to find them. And we do share joys and sorrows throughout the service or later in the service. You could come to the microphone. We've got half dozen set up today. Or you can fill out a blue card in the pews, or you can text. There's a phone number in the front of the order of service. That will come up here, and I can read that for you as well, but please include your name if you do text us. And speaking of phones, please silence your cell phones. Thank you. Let's see, we had a couple announcements this morning. Kelly. Hi, Kelly.
Hey, friends! It's that time of year again. That time of month again. You get to volunteer to hang out with the kids. It is a fabulous time. You do not have to prepare anything. Corey, the religious ed coordinator, prepares everything for you. You show up, you have fun. You get to make cool things sometimes. We made a worry stone. And Shara got to make a really cool necklace last week. So it's a lot of fun. It's not hard. It's very rewarding. And, you're giving back. You're helping to support the next generation and really building some wonderful relationships. So I encourage you to do that and sign up today. Thanks.
Thank you, Kelly. And Sarah, did you have a couple brief words you wanted to share?
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm with the membership committee. Just a couple quick reminders. Next week, I have an FYI event. Me and my family will be heading back to the, I don't speak French, I'll butcher it, the Marche du Nine. It's this parade that's based on a folk tale that happens in downtown Detroit. It's almost a cross between Mardi Gras and Halloween. Super fun atmosphere, a lot of great music. So if you're interested in more information, let me know. Red Devil Day is, is that, yes, we have to make a ton of noise to scare away the Red Devil so that we don't have bad things happen. The second is just the FYI that come April 30th, we're going to be having our Spring Fling event, which should hopefully be a lot of fun. And we'll get more information. Hopefully next week we'll have flyers that will ask you to maybe help us tell the community about what's going on. And then thinking about that, we were also just going to put out an ask to the community that if anybody has any yard games that they no longer need or want, we were thinking of trying to get a few for the church so that come coffee hour in summer when we have our picnics and other things, it'd be nice to be able to have those out for everyone. So that's it.
Thank you, Sarah. And there's always other things going on around the church, so make sure you check the website and the e-blast that goes out for additional details and activities. And now, if you could please stand as you are willing and able and join us in singing hymn 118, This Little Light of Mine.
The reading is from the United Mine Workers Journal, January 1931. Mother Jones lived as few humans have dared to, giving of her great heart and courage for the disinherited, accepting in return hardships, danger, and the small pay of a union organizer. She was in scores of jails, tried often on charges of accessory to murder and similar crimes. Neither courts, nor gunmen, nor prisons could stop her. A prosecutor in West Virginia termed her the most dangerous woman in America. Her name will stand at the head among the great of Labor's Hall of Fame.
Near Bunbridge Town in the county down one morning in July. Down a boring green came a sweet colleen, and she smiled as she passed me by. She looked so sweet, oh, to Mary, in the shade of her dark brown hair. Such a coaxing help, I shook myself to be sure I was really there. From Bounty Bay up to Dairy Creek, and from Lower to Garden Town. May I seem like a brown collie, I met in the county down. As these brown words said, I shook my head, and I gazed with a feeling red. And I says I, to a passerby, who's a maid with the nut brown hair. He smiled at me with pride, says he, as a gem of Ireland's crown. She's a rosiest man from the banks of the bed, she's a star in the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Dairy Creek, and from Galway to Barton Town. May I seem like a brown collie, I met in the county down. I've traveled a bit, but never was hit since my roving career was began. But fair and square I surrendered there to the charms of a closing can. A heart to love, no take it, in a silver shower gown. In she went, I asked no rent, from the star of the county town. From Bantry Bay up to Dairy Creek, and from Golden Town. Oh, may I see like a brown collie, I met in the county down. And the crossroads there, I'll be surely there. I'll dress in my Sunday clothes, and I'll cry sheep's eyes, and with early rise from the heart of the nut brown rose. Go by the smoke, your horse or yoke, go across my county brow. Smiling bright on my own fireside, is the star in the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Dairy Creek, and from Golden Town. Oh, may I sing like the brown collie.
I'd like to thank the Sunday Services Committee for the opportunity to speak today It is indeed an honor. And it's great to have the choir today. I always enjoy hearing them. Wow, Irish music for Irish Mother Jones. Women's History Month is a great time to talk about Mother Jones. Mary Harris, Mother Jones' birthday is not known. She was baptized August 1st, 1837 in Cork, Ireland. She endured great hunger during the potato famine, where she witnessed starved corpses carted off while food was taken to the ports of the River Lee to be exported. Harris immigrated to Canada and then the U.S., earning a living as a teacher and seamstress, then moved to Memphis, where she married Union iron molder George Jones and started a family. When yellow fever struck the city, the well-to-do fled, while workers like her husband perished from it. One by one, her 4 little children sickened and died. Jones then moved to Chicago, where she sewed for the wealthy until the Great Fire of 1871 made her homeless. Jones emerged as an activist in the 1890s. This movement became connected to the new industrial unions of the era. The American Railway Union, organized by Eugene Debs, and the United Mine Workers of America launched major strikes in mid-1894. Mother Jones founded the Social Democratic Party and helped establish the Industrial Workers of the World. She was an Irish immigrant with a heart of gold for the working class. She was barely 5 foot tall. She rose to prominence as a fiery orator and fearless organizer for the mine workers during the first 2 decades of the 20th century. Mother Jones' energy and passion inspired men half her age into action and compelled their wives and daughters to join in the struggle. If that didn't work, she would embarrass men to action. I have been in jail more than once, and I expect to go again. If you are too cowardly to fight, I will fight. Her efforts went into the great battles to organize the United Mine Workers of America. Throughout the coal fields of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Colorado, and Alabama, she joined with miners facing cops, troops, hired gun thugs, special deputies, judges, and prosecutors, bringing to bear the power of the Union. Jones fought for justice in mines and factories across the nation. She saw coal miners covered with soot, lungs filled with dust, being paid very little. She saw factory workers getting shot by company guards. She said, "The worst thing I ever saw was in the fabric mills of Philadelphia. I saw children 9 and 10 years old forced to stand on their feet for 10 hours straight, tying threads to spinning spools, reaching their hands inside the dangerous machines that make the fabric. Sometimes getting skirt caught, hair caught, sometimes hands or legs, never resting, breathing deadly dust, robbed of their childhoods, all for 2 cents an hour. I saw their gnarled little hands. I saw their stooped backs and their missing fingers. Children. I saw the gray line of children dressed in rags, heading home in the dreary dark of evening. I saw them collapse on their pallets of straw, too tired even to eat, just to be forced back to work by the factory whistle at 5 a.m. I saw parents, too, standing side by side with their kids. It wasn't that they didn't love their darling babies. It was just that they were paid so little by the factory owners that their children had to work or starve. Everywhere that laborers struggled to obtain better working conditions, in Pittsburgh for the railroad strike of 1877, in Chicago during the Haymarket riot of 1886, and in Birmingham for the 1894 strike of the American Railway Union, Jones could be found. She saw children working 12 hours a day for a dime, strikers murdered in their beds, workers bound to their employers like slaves, forever in debt to the company store. Mother's greatest gift, perhaps, lay in planning and executing what are now called media events. During the Pennsylvania anthracite coal miners' strike of 1900, Jones organized the workers' wives for an all-night march. She had the women put on their kitchen clothes and bring their mops and brooms and a couple of tin pans. We marched over the mountains 15 miles, beating on the tin pans as if they were cymbals. To Jones, child labor was the worst of capitalism's sins. And when textile mill workers around Pennsylvania, 16,000 of whom were under 16 years of age, went on strike in 1903, she led 125 men, women, and children on a 125-mile march across New Jersey, through New York City, and on to President Theodore Roosevelt's home at Oyster Bay, New York. At the front were 3 kids dressed like soldiers from the American Revolution. Why? Because just as the first Americans fought for their freedom, my little revolutionaries were a-fighting for their freedom. Jones was 85 when she supported New York City's striking garment and streetcar workers, and 89 when she participated in the nation's first great steel strike in 1919. Mother Jones welcomed African American workers and involved women and children in strikes. She organized miners against scabs. She staged parades with children carrying signs that read, "We want to go to school and not to the mines." Mother Jones was banished from more states than any other Union leader of the time. She said, "If they want to hang me, let them, and on the scaffold I would shout, 'Freedom for the working class.'" The poet Carl Sandburg wrote, "He had no mother but Mother Jones, crying from a jail window. All I want is room enough to stand and shake my fist at the enemies of the human race." Her admirers called her labor's Joan of Arc. Enemies labeled her a dangerous radical, indeed the most dangerous woman in America. In 1897, the United Mine Workers launched a strike for a living wage in the coal fields. Jones was a strategic part of the union. For her, it was more than about a union contract. She argued that ordinary miners should direct their economic destiny, and that the public should own the coal and natural resources, not corporations. She believed in organizing at the community level to demonstrate workers' capacity for managing their destiny. She believed that the unskilled worker, immigrants, and African Americans should be the base of the new movement. She put women and children at the center of struggles in the coal fields, making a family-based movement. One of Jones' key contributions was building workers' commitment to unionism that bridged racial and ethnic divisions. She condemned white supremacists in the union movement and argued, for instance, that the black miners of West Virginia were the best trade unionists. In the Southwest, she argued Mexicans and Italians should be the base for the movement. Jones was above and beyond all one of the working class. Wherever she goes, she enters into the lives of the toilers and becomes a part of them. She believed in a global labor movement. By 1910, she was the most well-known U.S. figure fighting for Mexican labor revolutionaries against the Diaz dictatorship and his U.S. corporate and political supporters. The Mexican rebels were part of the same cause as American unionists, she argued. When she traveled to Mexico in 1921, workers threw red carnations and blue violets around Jones, who they called Madre Juanita. She was called the miner's angel, but she rejected that label, saying, "I'm no angel." Introduced once as a humanitarian, she said, "Let's get something straight. I'm not a humanitarian, I'm a hellraiser." Her story covers a wide swath of history that is often forgotten. In a speech to miners in Louisville, Colorado, November 21st, 1903, Mother Jones said, "I know of no east or west, north or south, when it comes to my class fighting the battle for justice. If it is my fortune to live to see the industrial chain broken from every working man's child in America, and if then there is one black child in Africa in bondage, there I shall go." From testimony of Mother Jones before the House Committee on Rules, Washington, D.C., June 14, 1910. The chairman, please take the chair. Where do you live? Mrs. Jones, I live in the U.S., but I do not know exactly in what place because I am always in the fight against oppression, and wherever a fight is going on, I have to jump there. And sometimes I'm in Washington, sometimes Pennsylvania, sometimes Arizona, sometimes Texas, sometimes up in Minnesota, so that really I have no particular residence. The chairman, no abiding place. Mrs. Jones, no abiding place, but wherever a fight is on against wrong, I am always there. It is my pleasure to be in the fray. From Eleanor Marin, San Francisco Chronicle, 1919. For her services, a world family called her mother. In repose, she might be the quiet, gentle essence of the young grandmother of happy youngsters, until she spoke. Then she was the dynamic champion of oppressed multitudes. She was motherhood roused to frenzy against the oppressors of her children. I saw her one time in Monongahela. She was trying to organize the mines. She came down Pike Street in a buggy and horse. Two company thugs grabbed the horse by the bridle and told her to turn around and get down road. She wore a gingham apron, and she reached under it and pulled out a .38 pistol and told them to turn her horse loose. They sure did. She continued to the park, spoke to a large crowd of miners. She wasn't afraid of the devil. From the New York World, November 2, 1900. There is only one Mother Jones. Clara Barton has her work of mercy, Susan Anthony her equal suffrage. Mother Jones has her boys, the great patient army that sweats and strives and suffers wherever the work is to be done. This is the time of Mother Jones. She has been called the stormy petrel of industry. She is the most successful organizer and sustainer of strikes in the country. Elizabeth Gurley Flynn in Speak My Own Peace. The greatest woman agitator of our time was Mother Jones, arrested, deported, held in custody by the militia, hunted and threatened by police and gunmen. She carried on fearlessly for 60 years. From Eugene V. Debs in Appeal to Reason, November 23, 1907. No soldier in the revolutionary cause has a better right to recognition than has Mother Jones. Her very name expresses the spirit of the revolution. Her striking personality embodies all its principles. She has won her way into the hearts of the nation's toilers, and her name is revered at the altars of their humble firesides, and will be lovingly remembered by their children and their children's children forever. The indomitable spirit of Mother Jones, Current Opinion, July 1913. Whenever the miners have had trouble with the mine owners in any part of the country, she will pack up her belongings at an hour's notice, chase from Montana to West Virginia to get into it. 500,000 miners call her the most remarkable woman in America, Mother Jones. Seattle Union Record, June 6, 1914. 10 million fighting men call her mother. She stands forever in the history of this epic as a vital, dominant force in the greatest struggle of all time. One time, a mesmerized reporter followed as Mother Jones walked off the platform to the railroad station. As she neared the train, the passengers wishing to get on crowded the stand, and a mother with 2 small children was hemmed in. In her strong voice, she commanded the men to stand back and let the little ones out. They obeyed, and she helped the mother off with her children. I have no children myself except all of the toiling thousands of this sad earth, she said. But I love children, and I sympathize with the dear mothers, bless their hearts whenever I see them. In 2012, Mother Jones was honored with the Cork Mother Jones Festival, bringing her to life in the city of her birth. And to the miners of Mount Olive, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, November 12, 1928. When the last call comes for me to take my final rest, will the miners see that I get a resting place in the same clay that shelters the miners who gave up their lives on the hills of Verdun, Illinois, on the morning of October 12, 1907. For their heroic sacrifice for their fellow men, they are responsible for Illinois being one of the best organized labor states in America. I hope it will be my consolation when I pass away to feel that I sleep under the clay with those brave boys. Mother Jones died November 30, 1930, in Silver Spring, Maryland. On December 8, 1930, tens of thousands of people traveled to Mount Olive to join the funeral cortege of Mother Jones. Between 1930 and 36, in the midst of struggle for survival and dire poverty during the Great Depression, thousands of miners and others donated, sometimes by the penny, to erect a tremendous granite monument at Union Miners Cemetery in Mount Olive to honor Mother Jones and their own struggles. And one of Mother Jones' favorite accomplishments was securing bans on child labor. In 1992, the United States Department of Labor inducted her into its Hall of Honor, saying, "With the look of an angel and the tongue of a mule skinner, she tramped the land, venting her searing invective against the shame of child labor and worker exploitation. A magnificent scold, she was a ringing voice on behalf of miners' colossal struggles. Jones suffered imprisonment, personal attacks, and unbelievable hardships for her efforts to ease impoverished lives." January 26, 2023, the Mother Jones statue, "We Shall Rise," will be built this summer. The project will be a joint effort of the Mother Jones Heritage Project and the Chicago Monuments Project. It will be placed at Chicago's iconic water tower. It has already been paid for by donations. The sculpture will represent labor history, women's history, the history of immigrants, and the long struggle of people before profit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul, for that inspiring portrait of Mother Jones. Some words before our offering. For the gifts which we have received and the gifts which we ourselves are, may we be truly grateful. May we be committed to using these gifts to make a difference in the world, to increase love and justice, to decrease hatred and oppression, to expand beloved community, to share and to keep sharing as long as ever we can. What fun songs we've got this morning. Love it. A perfect heart is one that has known love and loss, joy and sorrow. The perfect heart is one that has been shared. As joys and sorrows of our community are shared, please direct your energy, prayers, and meditations as a gift of compassion and strength. Your joy is multiplied in its sharing. Your sorrow is lightened in its sharing. The stories that are shared weave together to strengthen our community as we care for one another. Please come up to the microphone if you have anything you'd like to share. And if you could please rise as you're willing and able to sing our second hymn, number 95, There Is More Love Somewhere.
Closing words are from Mother Jones. Pray for the dead, fight like hell for the living. May it be so.
Here we go, here for you.